going to spotlight me. Hi, everyone. About 2 weeks ago, I was in Israel for about a week. I was on a mifgash, that's a meeting, a mifgash that matters with the Eye Center with other educators. If you were at the board meeting, I apologize, but I might have some new nuggets now. I was very proud that I was the oldest person there, only in that there were so many young educators there. So BBYO, JCC, other institutions. So it made me feel very good that the next generation is, they're looking for what to do. So I have some slides and I can tell you a little bit about what happened. So first, come on, I'm going to play. So when I got there, I had a couple of days because I had to do an adult enrichment and I didn't want to have jet lag when I did it. And you see all the hostages as you're coming in Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion was really pretty empty. This is the first time I've been back in 10 years. In the past 10 years, my daughter Lital got married. I had cancer. So I had a lot going on, but this trip really inspired me that I have to get back sooner than 10 years. There's a new rail train in Jerusalem that makes it easier to get around. On the bottom right, we visited a school and we talked to them in Hebrew. My Hebrew really got much better about their experiences on October 7th. And top right is an artist who does a postcard every day, Shoshka, and it's usually about, and they're all over Tel Aviv, Yafo, and he's very interesting. I'm in the market. I have a bag that says Hat Sodeket, which means the correct one, which of course I really liked. And the bottom right is you can't beat an Israeli breakfast. So now we're entering the Gaza envelope, Otef Aza, and this is Kfar Aza. And this is their armory. And a while back, a couple of years ago, a weapon had gone missing, so they had an armory. Hamas stationed themselves on top of the armory to pick off people who, came to get their weapons. It was beautiful spring there, but you can see the houses. They picked the part of the kibbutz which had the young people on it, and they burnt, and there's bullet holes all over. This week's Torah portion, it's usually a double portion, Tazria Metzora. This week is Metzora. And they talk about the walls of a house being diseased. And I had to do Torah study last week. So, these houses are just full of bullet holes. There's the young couple on the left who lived there, and they've set it up as a memorial. You can see the destruction. Top right, the landscape in the back, that is Gaza. You could walk there. Even I could walk there. It is so, so close. They mended the fences and things are back, and those are their fields. The left-hand side was the kids did art to help them through the trauma. And the man in the top right was a principal he had many schools in Otef Aza in the envelope, and he had to make Google sheets of who was killed, who was taken hostage, who was alive, and I think for right now he's retired, and he said he wants to come to the States in May. Afterwards, we said to him, why do you want to come in May? Well, May in Israel is Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day, Yom HaZikaron, Israel Memorial Day, and the end of school. And he doesn't think his family can handle it. There you see the gates of going into, and we were very close to Sderot. That's the city that gets a lot of press because they're bombed all the time from Gaza. On the left, that's Yusuf. He's a Bedouin minibus driver, and he went to the Nova Musical and saved as many people as he could put in. Somebody called him for a ride, and he saved as many people as he could fit into his minibus, 30 people. And it was a harrowing experience. He kept saying about himself, he was speaking in Hebrew, he had a translator. He said, Ani ben Adam, I am just a man. And he could not believe what he was seeing with his own eyes, what Hamas had done. The top right is Kikar Chatufim, the square, the hostage square. And those are the people who have come home. And I'll show you another. They also have simulated a tunnel on Hostage Square. Those are the hostages who have not come home. And of course, I think that we've heard some news this week. I don't know how many could be alive. It just seems to get more and more depressing. Oh, that's my cohort. I'm in the middle. Oh, and there's Miriam Chilton, who used to work for the URJ and was the only name that I recognized when I looked at the names. This particular, I thought, was just a funny picture because on the right, we have an Orthodox participant. In the middle, we have a Reform woman rabbi. And on the left is Mohammed Darawshi. And he's an Arab who does Arab Israeli education. And he came to speak to us. And I thought it was very hopeful what he had to say, that the Arab Israelis living in Israel know how good they have it, and certainly did not at all cooperate with Hamas. Now, in Kfar Aza, and when we heard Jackie and Yaron Vitale in December, Hamas know exactly where to go. And that's because Palestinians who worked for them gave Hamas all the information. Go to this house, not that house. This one has a safe. This one has a whatever. So I'm not sure how that trust is going to be rebuilt. We were lucky. My trip did not go to the Nova Music Festival, but a friend of ours took us. And she's pointing to her cousin who died. And you can look at those pictures of the Nova Music Festival. They're all young. And down below, you can see that it's now it's a memorial. And we were there for Purim. I'll go back to Nova. And it says Dego Re'im. It's near the kibbutz Re'im. And they once they were attacked at the Nova Musical, they ran for miles and miles to Kfar Aza and to the other kibbutzim to get shelter. We were there for Purim, and I got dressed up. There's Fletcher Valentine on the left. So that's David Valentine, one of our teachers. And it was great to see him. And he's going to be called up to reserves anytime now. And the top one is coming back in, Yachad Nimri'ah V'nitzachek. Together, we will be successful. And the bottom right guy is an Arab guy who made kanafa, which is a delicious Arab dessert. Oh, I knew I had more. There's Hirsch. And he's from Skokie, and he had a pole there, and people are very familiar with him because his parents, they've been very vocal, and we have seen them. And this is more the yard site candles on the bottom right. And top right is a mamad. It's a bomb shelter, which they have since built because there was no bomb shelter there when the kids were there. Okay, so I think we're done. And so all in all, it was an absolutely fantastic, it was a fantastic trip. And I thank Macomb Sola Lakeside for letting me go. And I hope you make plans to go to Israel soon. I know one of our congregants, Denise Goldberg, was supposed to go this weekend. Her trip was canceled because the airspace over Israel has been closed. I don't know if it's back open. I think it might be. So it's a trying time, and I do have some resources for Passover, which I can put in the chat, that tie every part of the Seder to what's happening in Israel. And I can only say, I'm so happy to be there to bear witness.
Can you email that too, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going in June, hopefully, so
Yay.
on a volunteer mission. And I also listened to Nova Musical Festival survivor who came to BJBE like a month ago, maybe. He also was saved by a Bedouin man, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It reminds me of the Holocaust because it was happenstance, you know, how these kids survived.
Yeah, his story was crazy what he went through.
Yeah.
And 24, like crazy. He's only 24.
Yes.
Could be my son.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I have introductions if we want to do those again. I think everyone knows each other now, but I'll start. I'm Sophia, of course, one of the new co-chairs along with Lynn. So thank you for coming. I have Alice next on my screen, so I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah. Hi, Alice Cohn. I take the minutes at our meetings and I write for the Kehila, and I'm also involved with the Refugee Committee. Sharon.
Sharon Stein, and I do communications. Lynn.
Hi, Lynn Frank. I'm a co-chair with Sophia. And I've also worked on the project where we brought some Tikkun Olam to the 6th graders this year, and other things that don't come to mind right now. Amy.
I'm Amy, and I do the Chesed committee with Bev and Marilyn Myers. I'm on the Refugee Committee and Day of Action. Jay.
Hi, Jay and Jenny. We are on the green team, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Meta.
Hi, I'm Meta Levin. I am the liaison with Lake County United, serve on their steering team. I'm also working on the RAC Illinois campaign, and if you haven't sent your emails to your elected officials, I would appreciate it if you would do that. Thank you. Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda Muskin, and my primary responsibility now is with the Deerfield Free Store. Floyd.
Hi, I'm Floyd Keene, and I'm in charge of the budget for the committee. So if you're going to have any expenses that you need reimbursed, please talk to me about it. I'm Bev.
You're muted, Bev.
All right. I'm Bev Sherman-Lavitt, and I'm involved with the Deerfield Free Store and the Chesed Committee. And I think everybody's been covered, right?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Vanessa Ehrlich, Director of Lifelong Learning and Liaison to Tikkun Olam and all good things.
Okay. All right. I think next thing that we have are the reports. We're going to start with the green group. So Jay and Jenny.
Okay, thank you. So we have a few upcoming, well, I guess 2 upcoming events and an ongoing project. This Friday for Shabbat, we're going to have our our speaker.
Yeah.
Jenny, you can
Um,
on it.
we're gonna have Heather and Wyatt Rowe, and Wyatt is a bar mitzvah student right now, and he is working on adding to the environmental landscape of Macomb, I guess. He has added, well, they've kind of multiple garden work days, and he built and installed a monarch butterfly house. He's planning to install some bird houses. So our goal was to find someone in the Macomb community who was actively doing something and find out like what got you started or why are you doing it? Because it's always like a personal story that gets somebody going on something. And, we can hand out pamphlets and we can say, look at our plaque, we're certified, but, why is a kid doing this? Or like, why is his mom supporting them? So we thought if we have a personal story for our night at Tikkun Olam, then maybe people would want to get more involved or certified. So we're excited to have them to speak on Friday night. So, and I'll introduce them. I'm going to talk a little bit. I will have to talk a little bit about the certification because it is important, but then it'll be Heather and Wyatt, and they will tell us why and how.
Yeah, we're gonna have a opening workday for the garden. Probably, well, I don't know. I've sent an email to Debbie. It's usually
Memorial Day
around
weekend.
Memorial Day weekend where we get that done. So we'll be looking for volunteer help with that. We have our next Make Less Mess dinner on May 17th. That's the vegetarian potluck that we try and have 3 to 4 times a year to get together, have good food, educate people about composting and other environmental topics. And then we have our ongoing community solar project, which essentially it's what the building Macomb is doing is we're buying our electricity from a solar field in Northwest Illinois and saving a lot of money in the process. And any of our community members can also become participants in this community solar program. It has guaranteed bill savings versus ComEd. The company gives a $50 contribution to Macomb for everyone that we sign up, and we all benefit from cleaner air and a more hospitable climate with solar energy. So that's what we got going on.
Jen, you should probably check in with Holly because Memorial Day weekend, there's a wedding there, and June 9th, there's a wedding there. And, one starts the Memorial Day starts at 4 and the June 9th starts at noon maybe, so.
Sounds like we should clean it up beforehand.
Yeah, we'll make
That
it
would be
before.
great.
All right, look for us before Memorial Day weekend.
I would check in with Holly if I didn't say that already.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, the next thing I had listed was the rack postcards. I know that there were a lot of emails going back and forth. So Rich is not here. He's out of town this week. So Ellen Gusson, who was in charge of the rack postcards, I guess, in previous years, she did a quick write-up. So she sent it to me. I'm going to just read it really quick, just to give everybody a background. I might be the only one who doesn't know stuff, but I'm going to read it. Basically, she said, Rich Amend has been handling the ordering the cards from RAC. The initiative is entitled Every Voice, Every Vote. For the midterms, I, meaning Ellen, solicited writers for the postcards and held numerous postcard writing sessions in the Macomb Library to write them together or distribute to those that wanted to do at home. We also had a box of cards at the entry door for people to pick up and write at home, either on their own or with their own groups. The envelopes were pre-assigned for those that had ordered in advance, or people could just take blank envelopes and enter their name on a log at the door indicating how many packets they had taken. There were some members and even non-members who had heard about the campaign for members who would contact me for more cards as they found time to continue with the campaign. The content of the message is always nonpartisan. No specific candidate is mentioned or promoted. The recipient is merely reminded to vote with a lot of strong content on the card regarding the importance of voting and the issues at stake, as well as other vital information. As to the stamps, most of us paid the postage ourselves, but there were several who did a fabulous and conscientious job of writing packets and packets of cards, but didn't have the funds to keep buying the stamps. So I often agreed to cover the postage, as did others. As you probably know from reading the emails recently, there have been a difference of opinions as to whether we, Macomb, should be covering the cost of the stamps, let the writers pay the postage on their own, or some hybrid procedure. That can be left up to discussion for this meeting, but I think a hybrid plan would be best. Some members are happy to cover the postage and others cannot and therefore need assistance. I think there is an opportunity to solicit donations to cover the cost of the postage stamps for members who would gladly contribute money instead of having to write the postcard. In this critical election, I think we should do it all, leave no opportunity untaken. She also said there is a Zoom meeting that she has been invited to on April 17th at 7 p.m. being hosted by RAC on the election program. I'm sharing it for your review and distribution to those that would like to participate. Just contact Jacob directly. I attended many bank sessions for the midterm, and it was rewarding and positive experience. This is an addition to the postcard campaign. And then she just gives Jacob's contact information. So if anyone is interested, I can share that. I also looked at what Rich had sent. So it looks like it's more than just, so it would be getting postcards, which we'd have to decide how many to get. That's why I was hoping to get numbers from previous years. It's also getting labels and stamps. I know that we had discussed the stamps before. I don't think we've discussed the labels. Amy.
I think the packets come with the labels in there and the names of the people, and then we just write the postcards, and then the stamps are not included.
Okay, because from the email that Rich sent, that was from the CFCG Midwest organizer. I'm not exactly sure what CFCG stands for. They have labels. It said order Avery type labels, either the most economical 30 per page labels or others. And then they had links to where to purchase them. So it said economy labels, eco-friendly labels, and 3,000 labels for inkjet printer.
Yeah,
prices.
I think that's a question for the office. They might have had to print those babies off.
Okay.
Or maybe Rich did.
And right, so these are all questions. Sharon.
As far as what I remember, Rich like organized it all, and he would bundle it all up with the list of who we're sending to and the labels and the postcards, and put them, I think it was groups of 30 in a little manila envelope, and then you just picked it up. So he organized that, and unfortunately we didn't ask him for a final answer before they took off, but I'm sure they'll be back before Passover, so.
They'll be back this week. They're in Poland with Rabbi, and we used to leave them in the security vestibule, and people could just pick them up. I'm always at Macomb, so then I would say, hey, we need some more, or hey, we've got a full box.
All right, so we can wait for Rich's feedback on this. I know, Floyd, you said we can ask for funds from the Human Needs Committee. I'd like to get an idea of how much we're asking for instead of just asking for a random number. So I would like to get that information from Rich, I guess, as to how many postcards we're dealing with and how many stamps then we're dealing with, and if we do need to pay for the labels or not. So any other comments on that? Yeah, Sharon.
Also, I saw that the stamp prices are going up in June or July, and usually we do some postcards now, but we'll also be doing more like before the election. So we should, if we're gonna buy stamps, we should buy them enough for while they're, before they go up in price, maybe.
Does
Okay.
anyone know approximately how many postcards we sent out in the midterms?
No, that's the number we're looking for. That's what we need Rich for. I know, I was hoping to get that from Ellen, but she also did not give me a number. So, yep, that's exactly what I'm waiting for before asking for money from Human Needs, because I don't want to just guess.
And the way it's set up is, if this committee makes a request, the two chair people have to make the request, then up to $500, it's automatically okay. If it's over $500, then you need specific approval by the Human Needs Fund, and that is not always the easiest thing to get. We do have a fiscal year though, ending June 30th. So what that means is we could do $500 for this fiscal year and $500 for the next fiscal year. So just keep that in mind, that if we want to get the stamps before June 30th and another amount after that, we can do it.
But is
So
that 500?
$499 it is.
Is the 500 our entire Tikkun Olam budget, or?
No, your entire Tikkun Olam budget is $3,500.
Okay, so
No
the
more than
500
$500 for one project.
Okay, 500 for
Without
one project.
approval.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. The next thing we had was the blood drive write-up, because the blood drive chairs. So we got a quick write-up from how the blood drive went. They said, we continue to face the challenge of recruiting donors, especially new donors. One frustration is that we have so many parents who are at the temple for religious school events and adult learning who don't donate. We would be thrilled if the committee has any suggestions for us. We suspect that some people are just scared and others need a personal, compelling reason to donate. Please let us know your thoughts. Diane, Rebecca, and Julie.
I mean, I hate to disagree with them, but I think, we had adult enrichment yesterday and they couldn't, but most of them couldn't give. As you get older, you can't give, you're on this, you're on that. Some people, I'm not going to out you, some people on the Zoom tried and, they were turned down. So, I would go with the Lev learning parents.
Alice?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just gonna say what Vanessa just said. We really do need the young people. I think we need to approach it through the Lev learning people.
Another place to go after people would be our young adults. I know that my son, who doesn't live here anymore, but Ethan Ron gives regularly, and he would have appointments and he would know. But, kids who are, I think, is it over 16? We'll have to ask, but that's another group of people who we should be tapping into.
I'm wondering, did it go out to the Love Learning?
Yes.
I'm looking.
Well, maybe it needs to be a targeted,
Yeah, I have the Love Learning email. It was on there. It's at the very bottom.
We're Love Learning parents. We're Love Learning parents, and we were just on mute saying, yeah, we weren't there. Why weren't we there? Let's be honest, weren't we there? Yes, we're scared to donate blood. I'm a little bit afraid because every time I've donated blood, they're like, oh, you have little veins, and I've been poked around, or I've had a really bad phlebotomist or something. So I'm scared from bad experiences. Jay has said he's afraid to be fatigued in case he has some kind of a race. So what's a recuperation time? We all have kids. How long are we going to be exhausted? Could both parents give, or do we need to trade off? That's my experience. That's my fear and why I didn't donate this time. Jay, said why he didn't. So that's that's two Lev learning.
2 data points.
Yeah, 2 data points. So
Linda?
I think those are great data points. And I think that we should put out something to why are you not donating? because I'm afraid, because I have crappy veins, and what's the problem? What's the cure? And what's the recovery time for an athlete? I mean,
Right.
if these are the concerns, why?
And
why
I don't
ask the
know, I mean,
donation
like,
people to
honest,
address
I
these?
don't think that's like an awful time. I don't think it's a super inconvenient time for us as long as, you know. So, yeah, it would be worth finding out and seeing if somebody would respond, but I would assume a lot of people have probably the same, you know.
Sure.
I
Also,
have the
think
very
we should
small veins.
incentivize them. I
Yeah.
mean, or
Prizes.
incentivize the kid to get their parents to donate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we did the survey anonymously, you might get more honest.
Mhm.
Although you guys were being very honest.
So there's going to be another one in October.
Mhm.
So I think at the end of October. So we can give them our feedback. Amy?
So every year we've had them at the Day of Action. We've had
Uh-huh.
the three of them come, and they have said you could recheck with them, but they got a long list of names of people who would be willing to donate for the October one. So that would be something to reference back and see if that actually did occur and if it did help them.
Okay. I'll ask. Yeah, and I'll give them the feedback that we got here. Okay, that's blood drive. Deerfield Free Store, Linda.
Just really quickly, we've been very fortunate at the Free Store to get a lot of donations recently. We actually have 20 car seats, which we never have. But what we also need is people to sort this stuff. So in addition to sorting on Wednesdays this week only, we are open from noon to 3 if you'd like to come help sort on Tuesday. You can sign up on the Sign Up Genius on the Deerfield Free Store site, or frankly, you could probably just stop in and they would be only too happy to give you a job sorting whatever.
Do we want to put something on the Facebook page?
We could.
And can you remind us what type of clothes you're collecting now?
Well, if you go on the on the site, and there's always a list of what our current needs are. So in
Okay.
terms of clothing, we are only interested in season clothing
Okay.
because we don't have any place to store your winter coat,
Yeah,
just like you
yeah,
don't. We're sort of and they're not interested in special occasion wear, you know, the bat mitzvah dress, whatever. You kind of got to think about what the lifestyle is of the people who are shopping.
Yeah. Okay.
And what their needs are. So yeah, small appliances that work. We're very interested in having your blender and, you know, your old crock pot and that kind of thing.
You know, there's a Facebook group where I don't know if people would be interested in where they give away stuff for free.
Yes.
You could
we're
post
aware.
on there. Yeah. Maybe, you know, anyone has stuff that other people don't want.
Clothes with no stains, vacuum cleaners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to sort, tomorrow's a great day. It's gonna rain.
So when 12 to 3, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Last report is on committee openings. So we had 2 openings on programming, but Ellen Diamond Waldman has agreed to join the programming team. So now we still have 1 opening. So do you know of anyone? We have 1 opening on the Lev Learning 6th grade.
No, we don't. We're
We
set
don't?
on that. Yeah,
Oh.
Laura Frisch is gonna do it with me.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I already talked to her and we're gonna talk again in the summer before things.
Perfect. All right, and
Yeah,
By the
she's
way-
perfect because she's there.
she's there already.
Yeah, and she really knows the kids and yeah.
Perfect.
We
Go
were
ahead.
Lynn?
gonna squeeze one more in this year and we ran out of time. So we did 3 this year. 3 people, 3 groups came in. We were hoping to do 4, and like I said, we ran out of time. So maybe we'll aim for 4 next year.
Great. Okay, day of action. Yay, we have someone who's so Arlene and Phil Fine and Amy are going to run with this day of action. August 25th is the date that I have. And then we have Karen Morrison and Julie Swidler would like to help the day of. They don't want to be the committee heads, but maybe they'll learn and we could get them for following years. So that are the committee openings. So on to new business. So the first one is the May Tikkun Olam Shabbat speaker. We did not have one scheduled. So we got similar to the Green Group, we have a member of Macomb. Her name is Abby Zucker. She's a sophomore at University of Wisconsin-Madison. She has been volunteering and actually working for Keshet since she was getting bat mitzvahed. That was her mitzvah project. She started as a buddy for, I think it was baseball, and fell in love with helping and working with Keshet, which is, you know, special. They do a lot with special needs kids. And she has continued on working at the Keshet camps every summer. And this summer she has an internship with them. And I thought that that would be a great speaker. Also because she is a member, her parents are members of Macomb. And I like the idea of how like one person, you know, who we have all these speakers, and similar to the speakers that you have for 6th grade for the Tikkun Olam, they might pick something up and stick with it and how it follows them through their life. And she's in school for education, for special ed education because of her bat mitzvah project. So she will be our speaker. Next new business is counting the Omer, Vanessa. Want to say?
Well, good news, we started early. And so just bring in your cereal boxes. We have a lot of simchas in the sanctuary, so we'll be counting near the big window, near the balcony, the mirpeset, in the lounge. Anyway, after a couple weeks, you can't miss it. And, you know, thank you for everyone who's brought it, and thank you for those who are going to bring it. I know that not only do the food pantries look forward to it, they need it. As we're going into the summertime, where kids who got federally funded breakfast and lunch don't have a lot of that, although I think Moraine is trying to help provide some of that during the summer. So it's really needed, and you know, during COVID, we didn't do it. And I got an email like, hey, where are the cereal boxes? So, you know, and we take it all over to all the food pantries in the area.
Right. All right, next thing is the Rise Against Hunger, Vanessa and Lynn.
Woohoo! Wait, oh, there's Lynn. I was like, where are you? Do you want to talk
Sure. So
about it? And then I'll talk.
As many of you know, we're having a Macomb Gala celebration, which will commemorate the 5th anniversary of the joining of Lakeside and Solel, and also the 15th anniversary of Rabbi Mafik on the Bima. So many events are planned. There's going to be a Friday night service. Saturday night is the gala. There will be music and lovely food, and we're encouraging people to buy tickets or sponsor that event. And on Sunday, we're doing a Tikkun Olam event, which is we will be packing food for Rise Against Hunger. And we did this at Lakeside. I don't know if Solel ever did this in the past, but
No, we did it on the merger day.
Together.
we did it the merger day. So we're going to do it again 5 years later, which seems fitting. And for those of you that don't know, the food components our dried rice and grains and dried vegetables and vitamin powder. And we essentially make a big assembly line, and we scoop and weigh and put it in bags, and the bags get sealed and then packed in boxes. And we need many volunteers for this. We are hoping to pack 15,000 meals. Which is a lot, but we can do it. And so Vanessa at the board meeting asked for someone to help get volunteers, and I said I would help. And of course, our committee will help. And Vanessa, can you speak about what we know about in terms of sign-up sheets and such?
Yeah. Here's the link to sign up. And it will be on a flyer going out very shortly. And we need people from like 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., but it doesn't have to be the same people. At the beginning, we're going to need some muscle, because you have to pick up 25-pound bags of soy and 25-pound bags of rice, which used to be 50 pounds. I don't know how we lifted those last time, but we did. So, and they're to start at 10, and we thought that we should start at 10. If it's a nice day, people are going to want to, get out, that we have to pre-set everything up at 8 a.m. And right now, hoping for a day like today, we're going to do it in the tent.
Oh, different.
So there'll be a little less pickup, because you spill some of it, and so, the animals will walk away with it or whatever. So I think that'll be fantastic. Of course, that'll be a game day call, and if it rains, we'll have to go inside.
Vanessa, are you in charge of bringing the animals?
Yes. Yes, I am. I'll be hoping for raccoons, skunks.
We've obtained a
something
crate
big bar-
of
garbage,
little
stuff like that. Yeah.
squirrels that will come,
Yeah.
This is a great,
it's just-
family event also. Like
I'm
we
sorry,
did
what?
this is a great family event. We did
Great.
it with our kids, and that was 5 years ago. So
Right.
they were
I said to Ashley and Lynn, you and I think we should target B'nai Mitzvah kids. They need mitzvah hours. Let's go. It's a lot of hours. We can use their help.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and we're going to need young people there, because again, full transparency, you're on your feet all day.
Yeah.
And when we did mitzvah day, I would have letter writing and things where people could sit down and do some stuff, and we can, maybe we should have the postcards there. We can double dip for the people who need to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
and also
Like, if you get a chair, you have to write 20 postcards.
this is the event that kids are included in. Obviously, kids can go to the Friday night service, but the Saturday night events are adults only. So we want to pitch this to families, in addition to the rest of the congregation.
Hey, the last thing we have is the gala tribute book. Lynn.
So the gala is a fundraiser. The board hopes to use proceeds from the gala to help bridge our budget gap. And the ticket sales are part of that, the sponsorships, donations. And one of the things we're doing is a gala tribute book, where you can purchase an ad individually or as a group. They range in size from like a little business card size to like a whole page, and the prices vary depending on size. You can include a photo, you can write, congratulations, whatever you want. You can do it individually with your family or as a group. And I wanted to float the idea of the Tikkun Olam committee coming together and doing an ad for the tribute book. My thoughts on this are that I will, and if this doesn't sound good, tell me, but my thinking on how I'd like to approach it is just email everyone. If you would like to be included, just tell me. If you do not want to be included, that's totally fine. And then people can contribute as much or as little as they want, whatever's appropriate for your budget. And then depending on how much we get, that will determine the size of our ad. We can include a picture or graphics if we wish. We'll see. If people are interested, we can do that. I know the board is doing a group one, and I don't know if other groups are or are not. People may decide, actually maybe we'll do a green group ad ourselves, or I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, or maybe this other group wants to do it. So just give me I'm going to email everyone and give me your thoughts on whether you'd like to be included in the group tribute ad or not.
Mhm. I also have a belated announcement. Our monthly electronic email, which is no longer on Constant Contact, but it's going to go through Shoal Cloud, is going to everybody. So I think that's a fabulous change. Kol hakavod to Stacy. She's been really working on professionalizing our emails, and I hope when you get everything, she puts a lot of work into it. But I think this is a boon for Tikkun Olam.
Did you get any, were there any comments from the last one being sent out to everyone?
I did not. I told her, I think, to send it out from mine so that I could regulate that, and I didn't get any.
Okay, because I know it did send out with everybody gets this.
Yeah.
So,
Right. So no news is good news.
all right, good. That is all we had. The next meeting is May 20th. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up that we missed?
I just
Well-
want to encourage everybody to send your emails. If you don't have the link, I can send it to you again. I sent it to everybody. And encourage your friends to do the same. And my personal one that I'm mostly concerned about is Karina's bill. Because I think that will go a long way towards helping with the gun violence issue, but we're also dealing with housing, so.
Alice.
Maida, you probably had said it at a previous meeting, but when I got the email, and I think a lot of people getting the email might not know what Karina's bill is. I looked it up on my own, but I didn't know what it was for. I think it would help get a response from people, because I'm not just gonna send a email to my representatives if I don't know what the bill is.
If you clicked on the link that I sent,
well, I
it
never
went right to an explanation page.
Oh, well, I didn't, because I wanted to know what it was. I didn't do that next step because I didn't want to start doing something.
Oh, maybe I should have been clearer, but yeah, if you just click on the link, it goes to
Yeah, I think it has to be up front, Karina's gun violence prevention. I think we'll get a better response on everything if we're just, upfront about what things are.
Here's an explanation by League of Women Voters.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope to see you Friday at the Tikkun Olam Shabbat. And
special thanks to Lynn and Sophia for taking this over. And the one thing I said to them is that special thanks to Sharon and Linda, who've done a great job. But I did say to Sophia and Lynn, I said, listen, Sharon and Linda made sure we were done in an hour. I just want to pass that on. And you did a great job.
With time to spare.
right.
Yeah, we're early. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, bravo.
Bravo.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks.